Hope you're keeping well. I've got to be quick because I recorded this yesterday and it was over 15 minutes and it wouldn't upload onto YouTube, so I'm going to do it a bit quicker today.
Is there a bookmark? Yeah.
Right, so let's carry on from our last instalment. So I'm starting on page 20. So this is My Friend Walter by Michael Morpurgo. When they'd finished, it was the boy's father who spoke. "How come he was put in here anyhow?" he said. They were Americans. You could tell from their accents and their haircuts and their spongy shoes. After all, didn't he find America for you British? I mean, we wouldn't be speaking English if he hadn't found the good old US of A, would we? We'd be speaking Spanish or Dutch or something. And didn't he sink lots of those Spanish galleons for you in the Armada? And didn't he burn lots of others? His wife joined in. "Yeah, and wasn't it Walter Raleigh who brought back the potatoes from Virginia and taught you British how to grow them?" The beefeater stroked his moustache and thought for a while. "I believe he did, lady. I believe he did. All I know is he was a traitor, and that's why he found himself inside here. I mean, he wouldn't be hardly having put in here if he was innocent, would he?" At this, the Americans looked at each other and fell silent until the little boy piped up. "Mommy," he said, "it smells in here." "Well, it is, old dear," said his mother. "Perhaps it's the damp." "You're right, son," said his father, lifting his nose and sniffing the air. "It smells just like tobacco smoke to me. Cigars, perhaps." A tall man in spectacles at the back of the party spoke next. He was carrying a book in his hand, and he spoke very deliberately and earnestly. "In this book it says that Sir Walter Raleigh was the first man," he wasn't an American, this one, I could tell, "who bought the smoking of the tobacco in England." "That's right, sir," said the beefeater. He leant down and whispered to the little boy again. "Perhaps it's old Sir Walter himself puffing away on his pipe, son. Perhaps that's what you're smelling." The boy's hand went straight into the back of his mouth, and everyone roared with laughter, except the boy and his mother. "Before you go, ladies and gentlemen, you'd better take the opportunity to walk up and down Raleigh's Walk a few times. It's just outside the door. It'll give you a feel of the place. Like I said, old Walter Raleigh himself used to pace up and down here every day he was here." But the tall bespectacled man had not finished yet. He waved his guidebook in the air. "But I do not exactly understand," he said. "They cut off his head in the end, yeah?" "That's right, sir," said the beefeater, trying his best to be patient. "Then why did they wait 16 years to cut off his head? Why did they not cut it off at once in the beginning?" "Well," said the beefeater, "well, things was different then in them days, weren't they? I mean, if you was a king, you could change your mind when you felt like it, couldn't you? And old James I, he just kept changing his mind. In the end, he let old Sir Walter Raleigh out, sort of on bail. Sir Walter told the king he knew where there was gold mine in South America, Guinea it was, and so King James sent him off to find it. But he never found it, see? And so he came back empty-handed. Of course, the king was none too pleased at that, so he chopped his head off." "But that isn't fair," said the little boy's father. "Not cricket, as you British say." "That's true enough, sir," said the beefeater. "I suppose if you think about it, and to be honest I haven't much, but if you did think about it, nothing much that happened in this place in them days was very fair. They was hard times, sir, hard times." "Daddy, I can still smell that smoke," said the little boy, looking around him in alarm. "Can we go now?" And so they went, the little boy sucking his hand and looking round over his shoulder, directly at me, it seemed, as he went out of the door. At last we were left alone. Walter Raleigh left me wrapped in his black velvet cloak and limped across the room to the door. "They've gone," he said, and he closed the door again. But why didn't they see us?" I asked. "That little boy, he was looking right at me." "Cousin Bess, though I yearn often to be once more amongst the living, there are some advantages to be had in my present more spiritual state. Since I am but a spirit, and a spirit has no body, I may go where I will unseen. My cloak is part of me, and I may hide what I will under it. I may pass through walls and doors as if they were not there, and I may eavesdrop invisibly on the living world as much as I wish. Indeed, there is little else to do in this wretched, damp place. Oh, do not think, cousin, that I do not still feel the damp in my bones. To be a ghost is to live with all the pain of the living, but with little of the pleasure. But I still don't understand. How can I see you and they can't? I asked. Sir Walter smiled. You can only see me because I wish you to see me. I do not wish them to see me, so they cannot. Seek to know no more, good cousin, for I know but how things are, and not how they come to be so. I may tell you that I am often sorely tempted to use this ghostly talent and howl around the towers like a proper ghost, for it would certainly alarm those ignorant wretches such as the ones that we have just seen, who have so cruelly wronged my name in history. For what is Walter Raleigh known? For laying his cloak in a puddle, and for ending his days a condemned traitor. They spoke false. I was wronged, cousin, wronged, I tell you. I mind not for myself, not any more. What harm can it do me now? But I mind for my name and for my family's honour, for I never in my life betrayed my country. Indeed, I spent all my life in the loyal service of my queen and her realm. They wronged me by my death, cousin, and such a wrong should be righted. Is that not so, Bess? I nodded. I tell you, I cannot rest for this hurt inside me. It lingers in me like the ague that racks my bones. I would be free of it. I will have again what was rightly mine, and what was taken so cruelly from me and my family. I will have back what is mine. Mark my words, cousin. I shrank back from his anger, and he saw that he had frightened me. He came towards me, arms outstretched to comfort me. He was dressed, I noticed, in black silk, or perhaps it was satin. I could not tell which, but it glistened even in the gloom of the room. He wore a doublet, a waistcoat, and breeches, and all were black. I would not hurt you, dear cousin, not for all the gold in the world, he said, and he reached out his gloved hand, lifted my chin, and looked into my eyes. I promise you, chick, Walter Raleigh is your friend and your humble servant. And he took my hand and kissed it. It was a little difficult to know quite what to do. I mean, no one has ever kissed my hand before. I felt suddenly like a queen or a princess, and to be honest, I liked it. He took my hand and helped me down from the bed. I think I'd better go now, I said. He looked a bit upset at this, and I hated myself for my clumsiness. It's my Auntie Ellie, I tried to explain. She'll be waiting for me down on the Tower Green. She'll be wondering where I've got to, and if I don't go soon, she'll come looking for me. We've got to go all the way back to Devon tonight. It's a long way. Devon? Said Sir Walter Raleigh, his eyes suddenly lighting up. Did you say Devon? Yes, I said. We've got a farm down in Devon. Exeter it is, not far from Honiton. That's where I live. He took his cloak off my shoulders and folded it over his arm. As we walked together towards the door, he said nothing. He seemed deep in thought. Oh, I know Devon well. In truth I am, or I was, a Devon man, he said. When I was a boy, and that was indeed hundreds of years ago, when I was a boy I too lived on a farm in Devon. I have dreamed of that place ever since. Perchance you know it, cousin. They call it Hayes Barton. It lies within the parish of East Budleigh, not many miles from the sea. Oh, there was never a place more beautiful in the world, and I should know, cousin, for I have travelled far and wide on this earth, and never have I found a more pleasant place. Had I but lived out my life at Hayes, I might have kept my head on my shoulders, and I might now be at peace with my soul. But what's done cannot be undone. He stopped and put his hand on my shoulder. When I turned round and looked up, his eyes were pleading. Dear Cousin Bess, I wish I could see those green fields once again and the cows and the sheep in the meadows. I would fish once more in the silver streams and ride over the hills with the wind in my face, salty from the sea. Prithee, dear cousin, take me back with you to Devon. I would not trouble you for long, for a few days perhaps. He looked around him. Dear God, how I tire of these grim grey walls. They were a prison for me in my life, and they have been a prison ever since. There is no comfort here for my troubled spirit. Bess? Bess Throckmorton! Auntie Ellie's voice was calling from below. Oh, she was angry. She always used my surname when she was angry. I've really got to go, I said, and reached out to open the door. But when I turned and saw him standing alone in the cold, bleak room, I knew I could not leave him behind. Bess Throckmorton! Auntie Ellie said again. I opened the door. I'm coming, I called out. All right, I said. But I don't think anyone at home would like the idea of a ghost in the house. They wouldn't understand, and my Gran's got a bad heart. If she gets upset, she has one of her turns, so you've got to promise you won't ever show yourself. It'll be a secret, just you and me and no one else. I would not have it any other way, dear cousin, said Sir Walter Raleigh, his face beaming with joy. We shall bind ourselves now in a solemn promise. I shall not reveal myself to anyone except to you, and in return you shall tell no one of this meeting or of your cousin Walter. They would only think you mad, and I would not have anyone believe that of you. I will be your true and secret friend, dear Bess, for as long as you need me. You have my word on it. Bess Throckmorton! I shall follow you, cousin. You will not always see me, for I find it tires me to show myself for too long, but rest assured I shall be at your side. As I came down the steps, I noticed that Auntie Ellie and Miss Soper were talking to the same beefeater I had seen showing the tourists around the bloody tower. I called out to Auntie Ellie because I had a sudden terrible sinking feeling that she might not be able to see me, that no one would be able to see me ever again. I was quite relieved when she looked up and saw me. Bess! She cried, rushing towards me. Bess Throckmorton! Whatever have you been up to? Where have you been? Nothing, I said, shrugging my shoulders. Nowhere. I was just telling this gentleman here how I left you up there, and he swore blue murder there was no one else up there. The beefeater she was talking about came over to join us. You see, Auntie Ellie said to him pointedly, she was up there, just like I told you, didn't I? The beefeater looked at me and frowned. He was more than a little puzzled. Well, I don't understand it, lady, he protested. I don't understand it at all. I was up there not 5 minutes ago, and I'm telling you there was no one up there. Hiding under the bed, were you? You're not supposed to go near that bed. They do that, these kids, sometimes. They've got no discipline these days. I was out on Raleigh's walk, I said, down the end. I never seen you, said the beefeater. Well, wherever you were, you took a mighty long time about it, said Auntie Ellie. Worried me sick, you did, and Winnie has very likely caught a cold waiting here for you. Most inconsiderate, Bess Throckmorton. I'm surprised at you. Now, come along. We've got to drop Winnie off at her hotel, and we must get back to Devon. I promised your mother I'd have you back by midnight. And I'll have to stop there because I'm running out of time. So, I will read some more tomorrow. Hope you're all doing well. I am missing you, and thank you for all the lovely comments and all the fantastic work. I'll speak to you soon.